everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today I want to have a little bit of a discussion regarding the Monogod factions and their really big lack of Chaos Warriors in their roster. So as we are all aware, the Monogod factions all have Chaos Mortals in their rosters, as, well, if they didn't, their armies would be terribly small, as keep in mind that all of the Demon factions in the tabletop was just one book, and this has been split into 4 parts. So in an effort to fluff up the rosters even further, Creative Assembly decided to mix in some mortal units, sometimes beastmen, and the majority of it Warriors of Chaos, and it's mostly just the Forsaken being Forsaken of so-and-so god, and obviously the Chaos Spawn too. And those units are perfectly fine, they were just recolored to have the theme of so-and-so god, but the problem is that we needed some more just to fluff up the rosters a bit further and make them as good as possible. The lack of extra hammer or anvil when it comes to these things makes it very, very obvious, and I want to talk about that today because there's a lot to discuss and I do have some personal theories regarding some things too. So what you've been able to see throughout the intro and of course now is that there are a decent amount of mortal units throughout all of the 4 Monogod rosters. If you take them all out, well, the rosters would be absolutely tiny and, well, in most cases you wouldn't really need them, well, barring Khorne, because Khorne desperately needed them. However, what we can see are 3 things. We have the reskins, those who have already been implemented in Warhammer 1 or 2 and just recolored. Then we've got the new units, which are the Skull Crushers, the Hellstriders. These are tabletop miniatures that weren't implemented into the game series just yet. And then finally, something completely new. These are, of course, the Doom Knights, which were never in the tabletop before. In fact, Games Workshop made a very big spectacle about them in their blog, which is likely due to the fact that they're likely going to be a unit in Warhammer the Old World. Now, we've also got some other stuff which are unique reskins, and yes, I know people don't like calling them that, but say for example, the Warriors of Khorne. The Warriors of Khorne are a new unit because we never had this type of Warrior of Khorne. If you wanted Chaos Warriors of Khorne, you bought the bog standard Chaos Warrior box and then you just painted them red. So this is in fact reusing assets, but in a very, very good way. The same thing could be said about the Marauders of Slaanesh, which did exist as we had a mounted variant. Those are the ones of the Hellstriders with the Hell Scourges and so on, but they never existed on foot. Yes, we did have basic Marauders, but we didn't have them with the Slaaneshi weapons. So once again, they're taking something old and then just adding a little bit of Slaaneshi feel to it, which I think was done rather well. And this can be pointed out to a few things. Firstly, for example, the Knights of Tzeentch. They are just pretty much recolors. The fact is, people didn't like recolors. And while I wholeheartedly agree, I would say that we needed recolored and reskinned units if the factions were going to be a lot better and not be as weak as they currently are right now. I mean, if you just look at, say for example, Khorgarth and Nurgle, yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. A lot of lacking when it comes to missing units and, well, no anti-large, which is really bizarre. No anti-large whatsoever. I mean, if we just look at all the individual Monogod factions, we can easily see what's lacking in terms of units. Nurgle, as I explained, is missing anti-large stuff, which could have easily been done with, say, you know, Warriors of Chaos with halberds. I mean, we have Warriors of Chaos of Khorne with halberds, so why not Nurgle? And I know, yes, this is the whole because they'll just be recolors. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Slaanesh is lacking from heavy armor in general, just to have a proper front line. The Marauders are there, but the Marauders are chaff, and they started melting pretty much in later game, and right now Slaanesh is probably one of the weakest factions in terms of battle. Some basic Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh would be pretty good because, yeah, front line, that's all you need, some basic front line. Tzeentch could also do with some heavy armor, possibly in the form of Chosen of Tzeentch. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but you know, an elite front line, which you wouldn't get until later in your campaign, but something to at least be able to take some damage. Yes, the barrier is there, but I'm talking about general high armor, shielded units to then provide support for your range stuff, which is incredibly squishy. Now, in regards to Khorne, well, Khorne's in the best place at the moment because the Chaos Warriors of Khorne do their job as expected. Maybe some Chosen of Khorne could have been there as a final tier unit for frontline and so on. You don't generally need it because you have a lot of really cool stuff with Khorne. Yeah, I know it sounds weird me complimenting Khorne, but out of the 4, he's definitely in the best position. It's very easy to tell that people are probably listening to this video pretty mad right now because I've been saying reskins, we need reskins, we need reskins. However, yeah, I want something looking unique too. Keep in mind that this is the artwork that I always use when I'm referring to Warriors of Chaos in most cases, and that's because this is what I want. I want individual looking Chaos Warriors that represent each of the Chaos Gods. However, even I know that at this point, Creative Assembly were trying to rush the game out to get to a release right before the end of the financial year. It's the whole budgeting thing and so on. I obviously don't work in game development, but I have worked in marketing before, and I know that you need to get stuff out before you get into the other marketing meetings, or else your budget gets slashed and so on. It's one of these weird things which I don't understand why this even happens. But if we had the option of, say, more reskinned and more recolored units than none at all, I would have said the best way to go was having more reskin and recolored units, and then eventually fixing that out when eventual Warriors of Chaos DLC would come out. And I do feel that that might have been the original plan by Creative Assembly, and this is why. There was artwork that was released a while back during the promotion of Warhammer 3, which showed some Tzeentchian Chaos Chosen, which is exactly what we need for Tzeentch right now. The issue is that they were recolored, and this made the community very angry because recolor. And I get it, I sympathize completely, but magically these Tzeentchian Chosen are not in the roster, and this makes me think of a few different reasons. One, Creative Assembly did say at one point that these were just a unit that didn't have their mount toggle on. I will be very honest with you, I do not believe it. I think that the community getting so mad made them think, let's just scrap any further reskin units that we do have that we haven't shown off yet, just so, well, people stop complaining. And if that is truly the case, I think they should have just stuck to their guns and released them anyway, because I am noticing the issue. Even I, at that point, when I saw those units, thought, well, yeah, it's reskin, but likely Tzeentch could make use of this purely because how the unit works. I saw people going, oh, well, these better be a placeholder. Well, yeah, we didn't even get them, did we? It's a bit of an issue. The fact is, we should have just had them as is, and then eventually, when a Warriors of Chaos DLC did come in, get them to reskin it then, or give it a new skin in total. The idea is, give a basic fix, if possible, and then fix it proper later, just to make sure that we're not lacking in anything. If my theory is correct and these did get removed, what else did get removed? Did we miss out on Chaos Warriors of Nurgle with halberds? Did we miss out on Slaaneshi Chaos Warriors just to be able to have a proper front line? What exactly have we missed out on where the other factions desperately needed it? Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, Khorne got unique stuff, why couldn't we get unique Chaos Warriors? The fact is that the Khorne Chaos Warriors, again, are not unique. They're just using the same assets from the Skull Crushers. Creative Assembly like to reuse stuff when possible. Of course, we have to take into account that once Andy Hall said these are Monogod demon factions with a sprinkle of warriors just to give them much needed flavor. Personally, I don't think that's true, and I think a few years down the line, we're gonna see that that's not going to be the case, because, well, the demons are done. Yes, the demons are done. There's not a lot that they can do in terms of DLC because one army book. There were never Monogod army books. Even with the successor of Warhammer Fantasy known as Age of Sigmar, there are no ways that they could add in extra demons because there simply aren't that many extra demons. It's just how it works. Everything there is also mixed between Monogod demons and Monogod units. This is mainly because Games Workshop is really not that creative when implementing new demons, and it's been a very long time since new demons have been implemented. I really can't remember when that was the last case. Yes, we did have some for Slaanesh back in the day for Age of Sigmar, but they're just demonettes just doing something different. So I think that down the line we're going to start seeing Mortal DLC creeping into there too, as a way to be able to fix things up, maybe eventually even the Monogod style Beastmen too, Pestigors, Slangors, Zangors, and Khorngors. Plus, let's be honest, I don't see that much needed flavor, quote unquote, because, well, it's Chaos Spawn and Forsaken. I mean, yeah, they don't really bring too much to the table, do they? I talked about this fear a while back, long before early access was granted, and it's something that a lot of people did get angry about because it was the whole reskin issue, but I'd say that if it's either a recolor or nothing, I would rather go for a recolor and have it fixed in the future. This is very obvious to me now, especially since modders are starting to work on stuff. A friend of mine is working on some recolored units mods just for the Monogod Chaos factions, nothing like a whole complete Warriors of Chaos roster, but rather just what's kind of thematic, and I tell you what, the more he's talked to me about it, it's the more that makes sense. These things should have been in game since day one. You can tell the obvious power balance, and yeah, we'll probably get some Chaos Warriors when a Chaos Warrior DLC comes out, hopefully with their own unique looks, but at this point, I just wish that we would have had them day one. I just wish that we would have had them, because it's something that would have helped the factions out quite clearly. Now, you don't obviously need them and so on, but keep in mind that not everyone plays with Doom stacks. Not everyone plays with the highest meta. Some people just want some thematic armies. Yeah, remember, people do like to enjoy the game differently than some of you. I think at this point, there's no way Creative Assembly could win, in all honesty, but hey, we can hopefully look to the potential future and hopefully see Creative Assembly just fix this up a little bit. No more of that, this is a demon faction just with a sprinkle of mortals, because I think we all want to see the rosters get a little bit fuller, considering that they have one of the smallest rosters right now, and there's not really a lot of potential DLC option. I know there's a bit of a rant, but I'm starting to get back into the game a lot more, especially since I've got the wrist turned off with that mod, and I'm noticing a lot more here, and I'm not doing this to complain. I just really want to see the factions become as fun as they can possibly be. Look at Khorne. Khorne has quite a healthy mix and plays really, really well. All bases are covered, and I want to see the other Chaos factions have the same thing, specifically Slaanesh and Nurgle, which are kind of weak at the moment. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and we'll start a bit of a discussion. And I do apologize if I'm a little slow responding, as I have been up all night with some work matters, and I've barely slept, so I'm going to try and get a nap in before this video comes out. But yeah, exhaustion might make me oversleep a little bit. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fame level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.